The following program is the work of the broadcast students at the British Columbia Institute of Technology. BCIT magazine features news stories from around the Lower Mainland which were produced over the last week. Responsibility for the content of the show rests completely with the students and their instructors.
Coming up on BCIT Magazine, new outdoor spaces for winter fun.
A community takes on the taggers.
And COVID-19 reshapes the wedding industry. Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Stephen Lowe.
And I'm Brittany Roffel in Whistler. Here's what's been going on in the Lower Mainland this week.
Skiers and snowboarders from across the country are traveling to Whistler to enjoy the slopes. This comes despite COVID restrictions from the provincial health officer. My co-anchor Brittany Roffel tells us how it's affecting the village.
The popular resort of Whistler Blackcomb looks eerily quiet due to COVID-19 travel restrictions. But locals say tourists are still visiting from as far away as Ontario and Quebec.
Teach for Whistler Blackcomb. Been doing that for the better part of 20 years now. And I've had a few guests from not overseas this year, but definitely from other parts of the country.
On weekends and holidays, ski reservations book up fast and lift lineups stretch longer and longer. In online posts, some residents say they'd prefer visitors stay away until the pandemic is under control. One post reads, "Seeing as we're on week 9 of a 2-week travel advisory, people need to stay home."
I mean, we cannot survive on our local tourism at all, just residents of Whistler.
But La Mellette thinks as long as tourists stay in their own bubble and follow safety protocols, they should be welcomed.
We need people from Vancouver. We need people from other provinces. Essentially, we need people from all over the world.
BC Premier John Horgan says he's seeking legal advice on whether to impose restrictions on non-essential travel from outside the province.
Well, we're opposed to a ban for a number of reasons, not the least of which is a ban is really unwelcoming. It's not really Canadian. It's not who we are.
The Tourism Industry Association of BC thinks a ban is unnecessary.
There's all kinds of reasons why people with Ontario or Quebec or Alberta license plates are in Whistler, and we can't judge that till we ask them outright.
For now, Whistler Blackcomb remains open under strict COVID-19 safety protocols, allowing locals and visitors alike to enjoy the abundant powder the mountain has to offer. I'm Brittany Roffel in Whistler for BCIT Magazine. The city of Vancouver has found a solution to the winter weather that often keeps residents from relaxing outside. Reporter Aylin Molinar has more.
Vancouverites can now socialize outside despite the rain and despite COVID-19, thanks to 4 weather-friendly pop-up plazas covered by the Burrard and Cambie bridges. The city of Vancouver has installed these plazas in addition to another 9 installed last summer.
I think it's absolutely amazing that city thinks about the people that want to enjoy the nature, even in the winter, and Vancouver it's too much raining.
The city provides the multi-use spaces to support community life during the pandemic.
They also do support businesses in that they provide places for people to eat takeout, for example, where perhaps restaurants aren't able to provide as much indoor dining.
All the plazas have picnic tables and some include ping pong tables.
I like the idea because, I don't want to be sitting inside anywhere right now, restaurant, coffee shop or whatnot. So yeah, it's good.
The city is still looking for partners to play a role in maintaining the new plazas.
Those roles can include just calling 311 if there's a garbage issue. It can be putting out loose tables and chairs and locking them up in the evening. It can be supporting us in doing microcleaning.
The city is looking at community feedback to improve the spaces.
I think it's fantastic as long as they follow through and keep it clean and user-friendly for everybody.
The plazas will stay for at least the remainder of the rainy season. Eglin Molinar in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
On Wednesday, Joe Biden was sworn in as the 46th President of the United States in front of a small crowd in Washington, D.C. Inaugurated alongside him was new Vice President Kamala Harris, breaking gender and racial barriers.
Wedding bells seem a lot quieter across the world as COVID-19 has forced many couples to postpone their big day. Hannah Garnett has more on how couples and companies are coping.
What was once a bridal shop filled with blushing brides is now filled with empty chairs, due to Dr. Bonnie Henry's provincial health orders and one uninvited guest: COVID-19.
So I was just thinking about all these things and I was like, I don't think it's really going to be the day I imagined if all of this is going on, and stress over health than people traveling. So we decided to postpone to 2022 just to be safe, hopefully.
Bridal shop owners are also struggling to get through the challenge of a major decrease in dress sales.
COVID-19 has actually affected every part of our business, from the amount of people coming in, to how many people we can have in the store, to not being able to get our gowns as quickly as they used to because most of our gowns come out of Toronto.
Reed says her soon-to-wed clients are often overwhelmed by emotion.
We have moms calling that are crying because their daughters can't have her wedding now. We have brides who come in and they're beautiful girls and they try on gorgeous gowns, but they know they can't have that gown because there's 5 of them. It's not worth buying a beautiful ball gown, so they're just buying a simple gown instead. So that's very heartbreaking to see.
Despite the cancellation of her special ceremony, Holden says she's trying to see past the negative and just look towards walking down the aisle.
Walking down the aisle, I'm really excited because we're not doing the thing where the first looks where he sees me ahead of time. We're doing he'll see me walking down the aisle. So I'm really excited about that because I have a really big dramatic dress, like a ball gown. So I'm very excited.
Holden adds that it's better to cancel and have a safe wedding than to take unnecessary risks. Hannah Garnett in Abbotsford for BCIT Magazine.
Reporter Hannah Garnett joins us now. Hannah, what are companies doing for brides who have already ordered a dress?
Agate Bridal did say that lots of shops across Vancouver were offering a refund on the deposit that brides put down on a dress that hadn't been altered yet. However, due to COVID, no full refunds are being given at this time.
So is there any sign of wedding planning changing in the future?
Due to the provincial health orders continuing to be pushed back, it doesn't look like things are going to change in the near future. So brides are continuing to reschedule for 2022 in hopes that things look a little different next year. Back to you.
Thanks, Hannah.
The UBC women's soccer team is back in hopes for a season this year. The 2019 champions are kicking off practices this week after losing an entire season to COVID-19. Here's what the team has to say on their return to the field.
I think it's made us closer, for sure, as a program where even though we can't be together as much, we're able to connect in different ways and sort of live this together. So overall, it's been an eye-opener for sure. We want to be on the field competing and playing, but understand why we're not right now.
When I found out that we weren't going to have a season, it was definitely really upsetting. Just for the fact that I wasn't taking in the last time that I was playing was actually the last time I'd ever play university soccer, so I definitely felt really upset about that.
BC health protocols allow varsity teams to practice if several rules are followed. We should find out soon if there's a soccer season this spring. Coming up after the break, a golf pro wants more Indigenous players.
And we meet a man who is dancing for joy.
Hey there, I'm Anthony Correa.
And I'm Dom Valley, and this is your community calendar for January 21st.
Looking for something to do in quarantine? Well, how about getting comfy and watching some of the most original and innovative films that BC has to offer at this year's Vancouver Short Film Festival, with tickets starting at only $7 for this year's online edition.
Want to get out and see some cool sights? Glow Gardens is back with nearly 1 million lights lighting up the Fraser Valley. Features include a 100-foot light tunnel and the Ice Queen's Palace. The staff will provide you with a snack bag when you get there, and off you go.
Is supporting a good cause from the comfort of your own home or your speed? The Take a Stand outreach program has created a new virtual event free of charge. Learn about the threats to the wild salmon population and what you can do to help these guys out. And that was your community calendar for January 21st. I'm Anthony Correa.
And I'm Dom Valley. No matter what you decide to do this weekend, remember to stay safe.
Welcome back to BCIT Magazine. An Indigenous golfer is introducing the sport to First Nations youth across Canada. It will give them an opportunity to learn new skills and travel across the country to play. Reporter Madison McKenzie introduces us.
Hi, I'm Madison McKenzie, and today I'm being joined by Canadian golfer Stephen Tush-King. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, thanks for reaching out.
So how did you get into golf originally?
It's been a while, but I started out when my father and mother were playing the game of golf. And they introduced me probably when I was like 6 years old, and my father was playing, and I just wanted to be like my dad. So I followed him to the golf course, and then it became natural for me. Honestly, I picked up the golf club and wanted to just play all the time.
When did you decide that you wanted to bring golf into First Nation communities?
Being First Nations myself, it was just something that kind of came with me wherever I went. And when I went to speak, or when I spoke to young kids, I talked to them about how golf was just kind of, it was a sport that helped me, but it also helped me go and speak to different people and open many, many doors for me. Here's an opportunity to teach and to be involved in their life. So it just made sense to me.
What is your main goal with bringing this to youth?
The whole goal is for them to learn the game of golf. Just introduce the game and the life skills that go along with it.
And now that you're in partnership with the Canadian Junior Golf Association, what does that mean going forward?
We're actually going to be in British Columbia for an event, the Girls Junior America's Cup, all from the West Coast and down to Mexico. They're all going to come up to British Columbia. And the big part of that event is that they're going to be actually playing on First Nations territory. They're going to learn about the cultural diversity. They're going to learn about the nation themselves. There's that cultural component that we want to make sure everybody knows about.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Madison. I appreciate it.
I'm Madison McKenzie with BCIT Magazine.
January resolutions inspire many people to hit the gym, but the pandemic has changed how we work out. Reporter Josh Farrer tells us how to stay on the road to success.
For a lot of people, a popular New Year's resolution is going to the gym. One personal trainer has seen an increase of clients despite the pandemic.
Getting a lot of clientele and a lot of inquiries about just personal training here in general, and it's really exciting to see our schedules book up.
In a survey done by the Morning Consult, 67% of gym goers say they feel safer with reduced capacity at their gym. Mandeep Sannard says the safety measurements in place makes it easier for her to work out without any added stress.
Like a limitation of how many people can be inside, so that feels pretty safe, and that even when there's drop-ins, it feels pretty safe of where we're always cleaning after each other so that there's no cross-contamination.
Because of the COVID safety limitations, Judah is no longer able to do group sessions, only one-on-ones.
Not gonna lie, training clients during a pandemic is a bit hard because we don't know where the client has been exposed to and who's in their inner circle, but it did alleviate the stress because we have a COVID screening in place, so it's okay to train clients now.
According to International Health, Racquet and Sports Club Association, 50% of new gym members quit within the first 6 months. Jita says her in-person sessions help her motivate clients to stay consistent and not give up.
One thing I would definitely ensure my client is that it does take time and consistency. You need at least 3 to 6 months to stay consistent to see results in your body.
Gita says she doesn't expect to see as many clients break their New Year's fitness resolutions this time thanks to those new one-on-one connections. I'm Josh Ferrer in Surrey for BCIT Magazine.
Josh Ferrer joins us now. Josh, how much of an increase in gym memberships are we seeing this year?
The International Health, Racquet and Sports Club Association says that gyms see an increase of 12% in memberships. However, about 4% of those new members end up quitting by the end of January. Back to you, Brittany.
Thanks, Josh.
A Surrey resident is calling on the city for help. His property has been targeted repeatedly by vandals. Jaden Juti has the story.
It's everywhere you look, on fences, street signs, and mailboxes. Graffiti has cast a shadow over Surrey's family-oriented Guildford neighborhood.
I've lived here for 28 years and never had graffiti ever on my fence.
But Peterson's fence has now been targeted twice in the past few months. He first contacted the Surrey Bylaw Department.
I finally went through bylaws, and bylaws, when they found out where it is, they said, because I'm adjacent to a park area. You'd have to contact Parks. So I waited and waited for Parks to get back to me. Nobody did.
Peterson believes the city of Surrey could benefit by hiring a graffiti coordinator.
This is not working. I basically told them they maybe should follow the city of Burnaby's example, where they have an anti-graffiti coordinator.
Peterson thought of painting a mural on his fence, similar to the one at a nearby school. However, a city permit is required. In Surrey, hydro boxes like this one are wrapped in an anti-graffiti film. However, the film is only used in high-traffic areas and not residential neighborhoods. The Surrey Crime Prevention Society says graffiti in neighborhoods has a big impact on the community.
It just creates that feeling of being in an area of the city that is not being taken seriously and not cleaned up. So
Reed Sidhu adds the Surrey Crime Prevention team works with the city to remove graffiti.
So we rely on the city's reporting. If our volunteers are out in the community and they see the graffiti, we still report it to the city, but we also respond in our reports. We actually report everything on a daily basis.
Peterson worries about the message graffiti portrays to elementary school students who walk by.
It might spark an idea that, this is okay, I can do this too.
Peterson and his neighbors are calling on the city to take serious action before the vandals finish practicing. Jaden Juti in Surrey for BCIT Magazine.
In sports news, NFL referee Sarah Thomas will become the first female to officiate the Super Bowl. Thomas will be a part of the crew for the 55th Super Bowl on February 7th.
The pandemic has forced many to lose their jobs and suddenly pivot into entrepreneurship. My co-anchor Stephen Lowe looks at one new business owner who's having a glowing start.
Anzi Ranasinghe was a waitress until COVID killed her job last March.
I did lose my job, but now I finally have the time to follow my other passions. So I was like, why not start that makeup company that I've been wanting to do for such a long time.
After creating Novem Beauty, Ranasinghe realized starting a business isn't all rosy.
Biggest challenge is growing my page. A lot of the time clients will assume that if you have a lot of followers, it means you're a good makeup artist. Hence they'll want to book you. I'm gonna try doing halo eyes on her.
The odds of Ranasinghe's business surviving are a flip of the coin. Only 51% of startups last more than 5 years according to Startup Canada. But one expert believes starting a business and keeping it alive is just a matter of passion.
And if you're ready and if you have that passion and energy, you're going to make it work.
Although entrepreneurs like Ranasinghe can struggle, Conway says there's also great benefits to having your own business.
It's very freeing. to be your own business, to run your own business. Because once it's in your blood, an entrepreneur, like it's not going to change. And it becomes very difficult to go back to a 9-to-5 once you've had your own business.
As for Ranasinghe, she will paint on a brave face and continue to strive to keep her business alive.
And we're done. Do you want to see?
Yeah.
Stephen Lowe in Surrey for BCIT Magazine.
Oh, the color is beautiful.
In weather now, Environment Canada is predicting a few days of sunshine, but there's a chance of flurries this Sunday for the Metro Vancouver area. And here at Whistler Blackcomb, up to 5 centimeters of new snow is expected on the ski hills this weekend.
In a world full of doom and gloom, our reporter Victor Robichaud tells us what one Surrey resident is doing to bring smiles to his community.
Most people don't feel comfortable with their dancing skills in public. Surrey resident Lenny McMullen has the opposite opinion. McMullen takes his dancing skills along Scott Road, which divides Surrey and Delta.
Because it brings smiles to the fucking people that see it.
Ever since the 7 p.m. nightly cheer for people working the front lines fighting against COVID-19, McMullen took the streets in his version of thanking them, and bringing smiles to anyone driving by. Since then, McMullen has become quite the star along Scott Road. McMullen's moves hit home for one Surrey resident.
I had a workplace injury, so I get a lot of depression, and just kind of going by and seeing him out there, he's got a scooter there, so he obviously has mobility issues. I have mobility issues, and he's actually getting out there and dancing and doing something, and he's active because of it, and people see him, so it puts a smile on my face every time I go by.
Pearson took a video of McMullen's dancing and posted it to a community Facebook page. He got an overwhelmingly positive response, with over 500 likes and 150 comments. Although, there was a common question throughout the post. What was he listening to in those headphones? There's only one answer. Rock and roll, baby. Victor Robichaud in Delta for BCIT Magazine.
If you have any questions regarding the show, you can contact us at bcit-broadcast.com or bcitnews.com.
Thanks for watching BCIT Magazine. I'm Stephen Lowe.
And I'm Brittany Rothel in Whistler. See you next time.